Okay, so I'm going to call the meeting to order at 5:38 on Wednesday, September 1st. We are going to go ahead and do roll call for the purposes of attendance. So, Colin Rodriguez present.
I'm sorry. Assistant Chief Manuel Maciel, Lawyer, Police Department.
Marina Morales, Mike's Purpose.
Linda Mendiola, Ozark, Tropical, Texas.
Elizabeth Alonso Villarreal with Lab, Laredo and Second Drunk Driving.
Nidia Perez Gonzalez with SCAN, which is Serving Children and Adults in Need.
Ana Guerrero, Health Department.
Nancy Cadena, Webb County Indigent.
Gerardo Montemayor, City Council, Mercurio.
Guillermo Wall, City of Laredo Health Department.
You count. You're here, you're present.
Okay, so Tiffany Perez, City of Laredo Health Department.
Okay. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today at the clinic for the Laredo Webb County Drug and Alcohol Commission. We are still pending a couple of members to come in and join us, so we'll go ahead and continue either way. Mr. Walsh, do we have any public comments? Anybody that's going to make public comments?
No.
Okay. Now, we're going to go ahead and table the approval of the minutes for July 7th until we can meet quorum. The setup of the template for the agenda has changed slightly. So on the administrator's report is where Mr. Walls will discuss any information that is relevant to like the detox center or anything that is being moved on his side. That may also include with our certificates or anything that are the city's actually requiring. So do you have any updates on anything?
So as of right now, I'm still waiting for everybody who is an actual board member to submit the certificate for the Texas Open Meetings Act. Whenever you have a chance, go ahead and submit it. It looks like this. It's an online course that you need to take. In reference to the detox center, the Webb County is now working on accepting bids for the actual construction or completing the renovation of that center. So
They already approved the architects? They're gonna send it out for bids?
I was actually hoping Maya would be here so she could give us an update on all of that. The architects have already kind of done the plan, so I think right now it's just looking for an actual contractor to come in. But I'm sure if Maya shows up next meeting, she will have a much better explanation than that.
Okay. Are there any questions for Mr. Walls? Anything else that you want to ask or add or task?
Yes, for those of us who are new, is there something that we can read or something to see where we're at so that, if, you know, we need to
So
know
we do
about
have-
it or?
In terms of
I mean,
minutes probably.
We're talking about a detox center,
okay.
like, just if there's some history on it. I mean, you don't have to go over it right now, but if there's something, could you email it to me or?
I don't have anything written, but that's probably a good idea for us to have at our next meeting, is I can give a short little 5 to 10 minute presentation on the detox center, where we're at right now, or where we will be in 30 days. And, you know, perhaps show some pictures and tell you guys where it is and the layouts and stuff like that.
Okay, thank you.
Have you seen that before or no?
Seen
Oh,
what?
you have, the red lines, okay, I haven't seen that.
And I think it's been over a year since
Yeah.
things had actually been in the process, but everything else is tasked by.
But
The
what I
city
can
clerk.
do is next meeting, because I did the initial layout, and I have it from the original blueprints. I'll bring it so everybody gets an idea of what it looks like.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. So next on the agenda is the discussion and possible action of our membership. These are a couple of things that we've seen lack of. So we wanted to discuss the meeting time today. Earlier today, Ms. Nancy Cadena sent over a survey that we could do online, something that we've already done in person and we've done virtually. And then I think I've tasked, sent emails and asked everybody on how you all feel about meeting at this time and day. And for the most part, everybody had said that this time and day was perfect online, but then the city had asked us to come back in person. And so that might have changed the idea of already winding down at home and doing the meeting online and that type of thing. So with the people who are present here, we can go ahead and kind of get ideas of like how you all feel about a noon meeting. It's been discussed to have a noon meeting where we could possibly have lunch, and then probably more attendance. These meetings are very critical and very important as we're trying to get the detox facility up and running, and then tasked with a couple of other things that are coming up in the community. So we don't want our participation to go down in vain. So with all honesty, please state whether you're okay with a new meeting and any other day that you might be available, or if Wednesday still works. I know that you had sent the survey for Wednesday. Wednesdays, I have Chamber of Commerce meetings, and then we have our Face Coalition, which may conflict with Ms. Marta Hernandez, who...
So I could add more options.
Yeah.
For other dates. I just kept it on Wednesdays to be simple, but just so you all can see, you all get to select multiple times. It's not just one. Okay, so we'll be sending this out, and we'll add other days, maybe on Monday, Tuesday.
Is that
will work
just for
better.
Wednesday?
This one is just for Wednesday, but I'll redo it and I'll add the other days to see if everybody, and then we'll try to see where we're all available at the same time.
Yeah, because I think SCAN does theirs the first Tuesday, the first Tuesday of the month. And then you all have a flag meeting?
Well,
also?
that we do periodically. What my issue is that I do work. I'm the CEO of NeighborWorks Laredo, and Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, during the day, it's very bad. This is perfect for me, Wednesday.
Okay.
But I'm just one. You all, you know.
Yeah.
Thursday is okay too, probably at noon maybe, but evenings are perfect.
So she'll add those other days, and we'll try to get us the consensus.
Now
majority of the
virtual,
consensus.
it's a lot easier for me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I did the time slots 2 hours, but we sometimes just meet for an hour. But do you want to do it hourly?
I think maybe reducing the times, that way it's not too much of a burden. Yeah, too many options. But I do want to get, Chiefs, when do you have briefings and when can you not make it? What days do not work for you?
The only day that I'm pretty much
Like booked?
is Thursdays when we have our internal staff meetings.
Okay.
at
So
10
Thursdays out of the
But
question,
I'm-
so no Thursday.
That's just an hour, but I am very flexible. After 5 during the day, I can set it in my calendar.
And then Mondays have city council meetings and commissioners court meetings, right? So Monday might not be
Yeah,
a good
Mondays.
day. Okay. Mondays.
For both of us.
Okay.
Fridays?
So Tuesday.
Fridays, Lara has said no Fridays.
Not at 5.
So it's either Tuesday, I mean, it just, yeah, there's limitations to days, but does a lunch meeting sound good for most people? Just because you can kind of have that flexibility to get away and you're
Thursday and
technically on
Friday.
your lunch?
Thursday and Friday,
Thursday and
Monday through
Friday.
Wednesday, it's very difficult.
Thursday's difficult?
No,
Thursday, Fridays? are
Thursday,
different.
Fridays are good.
Okay.
But I think lunch would work good.
Okay,
I'm
so
flexible.
Ms. Nancy will revise the survey, and I thank you for actually taking initiative to do that. So we'll send it out to everybody and see what everybody says. Primarily, we will take the consensus of the commission members because their quorum is required. And then everybody else will hopefully are able to adjust. Now, as far as virtual, the city has not said or stated to go back to doing virtual option because of the fact that they want us in person, so we'll try to meet that requirement. Attendance is very important. As of right now, there have been a couple of people who could have potentially been out. The requirement is that if you miss 3 meetings consecutively, then you are out from the beginning, from when you had been appointed. So there are a couple of members that have been appointed and have not shown up, so we're gonna reach out to them and hopefully be able to get them in person.
Can I comment on that? I know that this is my first meeting. I didn't take the oath until last month, so I wasn't aware of a meeting.
Okay.
I would
I
have
didn't
to,
get an email.
I would have to believe that as soon as you took your oath, that's when the clock
Yeah.
would start, so you haven't missed any.
And that's fine,
In my book.
but an email, yeah. Well, I'm just going by this, and I know we're not approving minutes right now, but
Yeah. No, and I had actually made point of contact with you, and when you had told me that you had no idea that you had been appointed,
Right.
I reached out to Viviana Hernandez at the city to discuss with Councilwoman Vanessa Perez, who appointed you. So then at that point, they said they were going to reach out to the city secretaries because apparently you had signed, and I don't have those details. but that's why I had given you that call. At the same time, I gave Ms. Alonso a call. I had given Mr. Gonzalez a call, who was the other appointee around that same time. We have not heard from him. I have not heard from him, so the emails have been sent out to him. So Tiffany will be sending out the reminders, and she has your correct email. So if anybody that's in here has not received an email from Tiffany, please let us know so that she can go ahead and add you to that list, because
Yes, this was the first email that I got, and I did realize that if it's coming from the city, any City of Laredo email, for some reason, our IT department over here, I wasn't getting none, and I do a lot of email exchange with community development, and they would call me and they'd say, hey, we need to know this. I'm going like, nobody told me, nobody emailed me, so that could have been,
Okay.
you all have that you did email me, but I never received any emails.
that
So
might
anyway,
be
but
an
we'll start
issue.
from
But
here, from here
yeah,
on.
moving forward, I guess we can give you a courtesy call or text message to confirm if the meeting for the next time has changed. That way, we know that it's the first Wednesday of every month or the second.
Yeah, once
however.
I know, I'll put in the calendar and I know that it's,
Okay,
it's
yeah.
time for the meeting.
We'll do that. I know that otherwise there are some vacancies, so we'll review those vacancies. I know I had reached out to the city council members, administrative assistants, to let them know that there was a vacancy, so that if they had anybody that may have an interest. I know Ms. Nancy had some recommendations, and I know Ms. Marina had recommendations. So if anybody has recommendations for positions to be filled, please advise so that we can send it into council, and council can make that decision, so that we can have a full commission, so that we have people with valued opinions and feedback, so that we can get things done, and hopefully have a better turnout and quorum. Okay. And with regards to participation, I know schedules are tough, but we're all here for a reason. Either our council members or our community values our opinion and our experience. So if you are here and you want to continue to be here, it's obvious you're here. So we know that you're on board. But for those that have not shown up, then we are going to ask them to either step down and fill that position with somebody who is able to make these meetings. In addition to that, we're hoping to be able to accommodate with everybody's schedule. As mentioned, the Texas Open Meeting Act training and certification is required by the City Secretary's office as a form of as a requirement of our appointment. So if you haven't done that, please send it into Mr. Walls. And then I'll send that link, if anything, later on, so that you all can receive it. One of the things we're going to discuss is that we are needing a nomination for co-chair and secretary. Mr. Walls has been so gracious to be able to write these minutes in the last couple of meetings. So if anybody is interested in having to be co-chair or secretary, please advise. I know that I've already asked a couple of times and I've heard crickets, but it is a position for a commission member. So if you've been assigned by the city or the county and you're interested in any of those positions, please advise. We obviously can't take nominations or a vote because we don't have a quorum. So if you are interested, we can send that in prior to the next meeting so that they can consider it. And if anybody else is interested, then we can actually bring it up on the agenda and make a vote. Obviously, the co-chair would require that if I'm not here, then you organize, run the meeting, or set in items for the agenda. And as secretary, you are required to write the minutes for our meetings and submit to Tiffany and Mr. Walls for revision, and then send it to the city secretary. So they're both very critical positions, and we do require a commitment from that. So if anybody's interested that is either a city or county appointee, please advise. For the work group reports, for the next meeting, what we're going to do is we have 5 different work groups. We have the prevention, outreach, education, intervention, treatment, rehabilitation, mental health, detox, transitional support, and transitional and aftercare. So at 2 meetings ago, we had kind of done who was going to participate where. We do have commitments from the people who are in attendance. Ms. Alonso, what I'm going to do is I'm going to send you the list of the different subcommittees and work groups, so that if through either LAD or through your other position or role, or you're just if you're interested in wanting to participate in any of the subcommittee groups, they're going to organize a separate meeting and very well could be virtual or in person, or both, hybrid. They're gonna discuss some items so that we can bring up to the table just for discussion. Do you have anything to say on the subcommittee groups or anything like that? I know that one of the subcommittee groups, which is the detox transitional support, wanted to meet before these meetings. So if in the case that the meetings are at lunchtime, do you want to meet before or after, or do you want to meet at another day?
See, I'm sorry to interrupt, but the cool thing about the subcommittees is those are not actual city meetings, those can be virtual.
Yeah.
You know, so you have a lot more flexibility with subcommittee meetings. So
I think it's very difficult for Jesse to get 2 hours.
Okay. So you probably want to do it like after 5:30?
Yeah.
Something similar to what you have been doing before, or like 4? Okay, just so that I can kind of have an idea.
Or virtually.
virtually,
We have that option.
Yeah, and I can assist you guys with the virtual option if you all need it, or if anybody, any subcommittee needs it.
Can I also get the email for the subcommittees?
Yes. Yes, is there something that you were interested
I think I would be interested in the detox.
in the details? Okay, I'll go ahead and write you down and include you on those emails and let them know, because we do have a worksheet that just has the names and the information of everybody, and those emails will be sent out to anybody who's interested. And by all means, if you're interested now and then you happen to not be able to commit, it's okay, or then you're interested later, it's okay, you can always come in and out, because again, it's not something that's obligated by the city, but the commission felt that these subcommittees would help in bringing resources, education, and ideas to be more efficient. Do we have any stakeholder agency updates?
I do have some. It's a few of them that I have. So our organization, which is SCAN, received $6 million in federal funding over the coming 5 years. And I'll just kind of let you know a little bit as to what each program is going to get. It would be for Border Traumatic Stress Response Center and the Border Behavioral Health Expansion Project. The Border Traumatic Stress Response Center is going to get $2 million of the funds, and the other $4 million are going to go to the Border Behavioral Health Expansion Project, which will be used to hire additional staff and boost the overall services of some of the other SCAN programs. The Border Traumatic Stress Response Center, just so you know a little bit about it, it's going to be designed to increase the access to effective trauma-focused treatment and service systems in underserved areas for children and adolescents that have co-occurring trauma and substance use disorders, and parents of children who are receiving substance use disorder treatment services. The project is $400,000 a year for 5 years, which is a total of $2 million. The services will be provided to 750 children and their families annually for the duration of the grant. And so they'll be doing a lot of the outreach, to increase the access to participation in our trauma treatment, evidence-based curriculum, screenings, assessments, care management, therapy, prevention. The contact person for that one would be Dr. Susana Rivera, in case anybody needs more information on that. For the Border Behavioral Health Expansion Project, that one we call CCBHC, which is a Certified Community Behavioral Health Clinic. This program is going to increase access to and improve the quality of community mental and substance use disorder treatment services also. And so this project is $2 million per year for 2 years, which is the $4 million total. We are going to provide services to 570 children, youth, and adults, including veterans, with serious mental illnesses, and children and youth with serious emotional disturbances, and or adults with children, youth with substance use disorders or co-occurring disorders also in Webb County. There'll be emergency crisis intervention services available 24 hours a day for 7 days a week to respond to the needs of the target population. And for this one, it would be Mr. Enrique Manrique, which would be the contact person. We also have the Familias Unidas program. This is going to enhance and expand comprehensive treatment, early intervention, and recovery support services for adolescents 12 to 18, and transitional youth aged 16 to 25 with substance use disorders, and or the co-occurring substance use and mental disorders. This is a project of $545,000 a year for 5 years. So it's 2.725 million. And this is going to serve 150 youth per year for a total of 750 youth for the entire grant period. They will have evidence-based curriculum, adolescent community reinforcement approach, along with assertive continuing care. There'll be a parenting component, family support network. There will also be acceptance and commitment therapy, assertive continuing care, for counsel for tobacco screenings, assessments, and this one, smoking cessation treatment also. So this would be also Mr. Enrique Manrique. For more information on any of those also, Mr. Luis Flores, which is our Executive Vice President, can also be contacted. I also wanted to mention that yesterday, they celebrated the International Overdose Awareness Day, and we want to thank Ms. Marina Moreno, that invited, some of the staff that was present there at the proclamation, some of the SCAN staff. The last thing, SCAN will be celebrating Recovery Month, and this will be September 7th during our Webb County Community Coalition meeting. We're planning a virtual meeting with speakers from the recovery community, and this year's National Recovery Month theme is Recoveries for Everyone, Every Person, Every Family, Every Community. This is now the 32nd year for Recovery Month, and it's to celebrate the gains made by those that are in recovery, just as we celebrate the improvements made by those who are managing other health conditions, such as hypertension, diabetes, asthma, heart disease. And each September Recovery Month works to promote and support new evidence-based treatment and recovery practices. The emergence of strong and proud recovery community and the dedication of service providers and community members across the nation who will make recovery in all its forms possible. So if anybody's interested in being part of the coalition meeting or just for that, the recovery event, you can go ahead and you can either give me your information so I can let Ms. Veronica Jimenez know, or you can contact Veronica Jimenez at SCAN. Thank you.
Thank you. Does anybody have any questions for Ms. Gonzalez? Okay. It's a lot of, it's a lot of information, a lot of good stuff, but it also is, that means that there's resources available for our community. So in whichever way that we can actually get a copy of what you just read and the information that you have. Because I do post a couple of things on our Drug and Alcohol Commission Facebook. We did put up a International Overdose post yesterday. I did actually print out the National Recovery Month toolkit that I'm going to be able to use so that we can go ahead and post the information. I tend to put a lot of stuff on addiction and the survivors, and so people are reactive to those. We still have very small base of people, but Ms. Linda was actually able to find us through there. So I do know that it works, and I do know that if people find Drug and Alcohol Commission, or if they find our information, they're able to find our resources. Which brings me to, do we have any other stakeholder reports? If not, one of the things that I wanted to do is to actually get you all to wear purple and send me a picture, take a selfie, so that I can go ahead and start introducing you all on our Facebook, and kind of just say, Ms. Nancy Cadena supports, and she's working with this, and a quick little, this is who we are, and this is why we make a community better, because we're involved in that. We're actually trying to do something. So if I can get everybody's participation by taking a quick picture with a purple shirt, that would definitely help, because purple is the color for recovery. In addition, I will be posting a couple of other, tidbits and maybe perhaps agencies like SCAN, that if anybody is ever in need of assistance, that they can reach out to them, or any other stakeholders that are present here or not present. But the more information that I can get, I can repost, which tends to happen like that. If SCAN, through the Webb County Community Coalition, posts something, I'll reshare it and have it there. Just that there is activity. And with that said, the National Recovery Month is in September. National Substance Abuse Prevention Month is in October. And then we have Drug Awareness Prevention Month, the third week of November, which is close to the holiday season, which is Thanksgiving and the Christmas season, where people tend to fall on either alcohol or some form of substance so that they can ease that loneliness that a lot of people feel. So if you all have any ideas to either share on our page, that would definitely help. And I'm so sorry because I'm getting messages from Brianna. She's at the. We do have those are some of the upcoming events that we have coming up, and we want to be able to be a part of SCAN and the Webb County Community Coalition and be able to support the work that you're all doing. Ms. Anna, do you have anything to report or anything that you'd like to share?
I don't have the details, but as soon as I have the details, I'll go ahead and make them available. But our prevention team will be having an event, and it's usually having to do with STD testing. So as soon as I have the details, I'll go ahead and forward you.
Okay, perfect. And then I can go ahead and post that on our social media page.
Sure.
We don't have a community or stakeholder presentation, but since Ms. Alonso is here, I'm going to ask that you give us an imprint of the LAD, and if you can explain what your organization has been doing in our community and why it's so important to you.
So I am the founder and president of LAD, Laredo Institute of Driving. And the reason it came about is because in 2011 on Thanksgiving Day, I lost my son to a drunk driver. He was a Domino's delivery boy. And so what we did, my family and I, we founded LAD. And the reason we founded LAD is because we were able to go to schools, courtrooms, even went to the jail once. Anywhere that they wanted our presentation, we would go. I worked a lot with Rosie Gregory, if you all remember Rosie. She was our vice president, actually, and actually Steve Gutierrez, I think he served on here. He was also our vice president. So we did a lot of outreach, primarily around the prom nights. Those, we went, we tell our story. I still do it with Brianna. I work with the judge also. And it's just reaching out to individuals, whether they're students or adults, on the dangers of drinking and driving. What we do, the resources we have is we get donations, and through those donations we're able to provide counseling to victims who have survived or have been involved in a car crash or somebody passed away. We provide counseling services, and I know Jesse, who also serves here, he's our contact. So we contract with him, and some services are made available to the victims. In addition to that, we also recently we did a backpack distribution at one of the churches, and we also do a scholarship. The scholarships have to be for families or survivors, right, of those who have passed away or have been injured. Okay. So we provide that, and we make that available to the schools. And thank God, we haven't gotten any. We did get one last year, but when we don't get these requests, it means that maybe it's okay, but we still know it's not okay. I mean, there's the statistics, and we really appreciate it when you all have overtime to be checking for drunk drivers and getting them off the street. But yes, thank you so much. It really means a lot to us, and we will continue working with everybody to be able to just bring awareness into the community. My son loved to skateboard, so his friends approached me about 6 years ago and said, let's start doing a skate competition so the kids can have something, show off their talent, and that's what we've done. And we've been able to do it for free, but this year we got very little donations, and we understand everything was closed down and everything, so we're barely getting some. We don't know if we're gonna have it this year, but we always do that. But it's not just the skateboarding. We talk to the kids there. And I know that we've had, SCAN and we've had some other agencies. We prepare little goodie bags there for them, you know, for not only for the skaters, but everybody who's there. And we give them resource material, because you never know, maybe somebody has an issue with drugs or alcohol or any other of the services. It's, you know, we think that, you know, if they look at the brochure, now they know where they can go get help. But that's pretty much what we do.
And I think those events are fantastic because we know that whenever people go on a one-on-one, I think they feel more comfortable with asking for their friend or asking for a family member. And so that's, I think, our disconnect these last 2 years where we haven't been able to do very many outreach events. I think last 2 years ago, September, we had done an event as well. We had done it at the mall, and we had a lot of people and a lot of traffic and a lot of agencies and stakeholders were present, and it was fantastic because, you know, people were interested to know what was going on, and we did the whole Loteria thing, and Recovery Scan was able to be there. I mean, there's so many different agencies were there, and we had a very good turnout. So it's far too soon to actually get it done now for September, but maybe in the future through the Drug and Alcohol Commission, we're able to do an event or collaborate our efforts together with the agency. So as far as SCAN and LAD, if there's any events that you all will be hosting, then maybe perhaps we can be present as commission members and or representing our council and commissioner members.
Absolutely.
So thank you so much for that, and we're glad that you're part of our meetings because you're a mom first, and you've experienced this. And I think for many of us, we've either had, you know, that close encounter with somebody or that we want to make the difference. So we appreciate your attendance and your feedback and anything that you're able to provide us, so that we can continue keeping our community, you know, safe and obviously have the resources available for their addiction and hopefully recovery. Chief, do you want to say anything or do you want to share anything at this time?
Well, I'll start. I don't see new faces, but we're here. I'm here as not only as a liaison, but as far as what our department can do for anything. And then our department pretty much interacts with a lot of these agencies. We're not just your traditional arresting police force. You know, we also do a lot of outreach as part of our community policing philosophy. So anything you need, data, and I would say congratulations on those funding, those grants. That's hard work, and we've done it before. But a lot of times it's sharing the data. We have data that we can share. And I'll make, as we come in through, I've done some presentations before, but I'll show that. And talking about, drunk driving, our arrests for that continue. That's one of our priorities. And every year, it sounds bad, but we try to beat the previous year in arrests.
Yeah.
And it's not only during enforcement, overtime, holiday areas, it's every day that we push. And surprisingly, it's 12 noon, 2, 3 o'clock, and we catch drunk drivers. But rest assured, that's a priority for the department.
Thank you.
And so I'm here for anything. And we have a great community relations unit, and I know we participated in some events before. And that's also an extension, that can be an extension of your agencies or whatever projects you may have. So we're very active, so we're here.
And so now that I worked at NeighborWorks, I do a lot of grant writing. So my dream is to maybe get funding so that law enforcement, we can just apply for a grant, we get the funding, but not for us. It's so that you all or law enforcement can be out there, you know, getting, you know, people off the street who are drunk. But that's ultimately, maybe one day I'll be able to get one of those grants so we can bring it to the community.
And through TxDOT, which funds those,
yes.
We've in the past 3 years, our funding has increased. We've used more of the data. So we're a data-driven department. We show the numbers where it's happening. They see it, and we're effective in changing. Back in 2018, we had, I think, close to 33 fatalities in Laredo in a year, 33.
See, that's what I'm waiting to see. I do go back to the text dot database, because when I do presentations, I tell them, this is how many have passed away, and I'm missing some data. Maybe we could share and collaborate, so when we go do presentations, we have accurate data.
And taking that information from all those fatalities, we came back to the drawing board and let's strategize, let's be cops and strategize, and from one year to the next, we've reduced it to only 19. It's still not, but it's, a big chunk, a big difference. So we continue to do that, and we have to, patterns change, criminal crimes change, and that's what I think makes us a little bit successful, that we're a little bit progressive
Yes.
in trying to stay ahead. But anybody,
Chief,
reach out.
do you want to mention, we have a holiday coming up and you're all going to be out on full force. And then in addition to the new legislation with beer sales being
Oh my God,
available
that
on
one was
Sunday.
like-
Do you want to touch base on that really briefly?
So coming up on we have our impairment drives, which are the holidays, Labor Day, beer sales, and I was out of touch with that, and I was surprised about that. I mean, people, I don't know how much of a 6-hour difference may be, but we'll anticipate, I don't know how much of an impact it has, but regardless, we've worked cases where we have illicit houses that actually sell alcohol, during hours, prohibited hours, so it's there. Now it's gonna be legal, I guess, the time change, but we'll see how it impacts.
And I think that he mentions that, and of course, I wanted to touch base on it because we all either have an agency or we work with somebody that is able to make a difference, and so they're going to be doing their job by, being full force over the weekend. Of course, it may or may not have an impact, but those numbers, we'd love to see how those numbers change in the next couple of weeks on Sundays, if you have more arrests or if there's more, domestic
Definitely.
disturbances, or that there's just more activity, whether, it be that we're a very community-based city, and we're very family-oriented, and we want to be at home, and we want to, just relax. It may lead to more drinking or to more incidents happening. We're also very faith-based, but we'll have to see how those numbers change in the next couple of weeks. So for the illicit sale of alcohol, I can tell you that through Crime Stoppers, we'll go ahead and put out a notice for anybody to give in tips of information that if anybody is selling after hours. And I'm pretty sure that either Scan or Lab could possibly do a similar PSA too.
I am
Trying to
always in
reduce
agreement with that. If you all have anything, and sometimes I get cases that I can digitally get from the newspaper. I mean, it's public information, and we repost. And sometimes I'll say more and whatever, but I've said, many a times, how is this gonna change? Well, if people just get a little slap on the hand, pay this, pay that. I mean, the donations we get, fine, we need them, but I hope one day nobody needs us here, because we know that if we're gonna be drinking, stay home, but, I think now it's time to start rewriting to the editor, and really, we need to really market. And I've seen it many times, we say, please don't drink and drive. I think we need to show faces, and I don't know if you all have seen from time to time, I put out a billboard of, we were killed by a drunk driver, and it hurts me to put it up there. But people need to realize that we're killing, if you get behind the wheel, it's Russian roulette, something's bound to happen, and we need to avoid that, but we need to have those pictures up often, and we wish we had marketing funds and all that, but I think we just need to just be more aggressive in getting the message across.
Definitely. Does anybody else have any comments or any questions with regards to what was just discussed, or have questions for Chief? That's it. Do we have any announcements? Ms. Linda, do you have anything to share?
We still have funds for anybody who has clients, or if you know anybody who is needing any kind of detox services or residential treatment. We still have funds to be able to assist them with transportation to the facilities. We'll go ahead and double check with the agency when is their admission date, and they must complete, whether it's detox or residential treatment, they must complete their full stay in order for us to be able to assist them with the ticket back.
What agency is this?
It's Tropical Texas Behavioral Health.
So just the transportation, right?
Yes, I did have a mom earlier this week ask me if we were able to provide gas money. Unfortunately, we can't, but the bus ticket for the client, we will set them up with that.
And these clients are going as far as or near as?
It's typically Corpus Christi. We have had some clients that have gone to Houston, but we do try to get them within our region.
Okay. I think, I've said it in the past, and I think it's very important to know some of the success stories. So if you're able to share information on how the program is working, we would love to hear, to see how you're all doing, because we definitely want to know that our agencies are doing fantastic and they're actually getting through to these people that really need it the most. So thank you for that. Any information that you can send back so that we can repost or share with the agencies, that would definitely help. I think Webb County Community Coalition does a fantastic job. The FACE Coalition does a fantastic job too with having to meet with more people and discuss these items, but we'd love to be able to go back to those meetings and say that we're also as involved. Marina, do you want to share anything?
Yesterday was International Overdose Awareness Day, and I did go to the city and we proclaimed the day, and we had a lot of agencies go, and at night I did a rosary release. It was just like a private. I didn't do anything big because of everything that's going on. We didn't have an event this year, but we did that, and everything went well.
Thank you for that. For the record, Brianna Science is present, and we still don't have a quorum, unfortunately.
What is the quorum? How many members?
So we have to have six,
Okay.
and we only have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, but then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We do have 6. Do you have 10? Because this one's an old one, so we never had anybody replace us at the end of the year, right? Or Mr. Thompson. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
Excuse me,
7,
did Paul get?
8, 9,
That's tough.
10, 11.
Did he get replaced?
He has not.
But he's not on the commission anymore.
He's not?
No, I don't know, I'm asking.
No, because the new council member came in, and the new council member should have replaced him.
Paul.
Paul Thompson.
But was Paul under the assumption that he got replaced?
He withdrew because he knew he wasn't going
But I had
to
talked with him. Okay. Let me talk to him.
be. But he wasn't going to be available on Wednesday afternoons. Also, was one of the issues.
Okay.
Yeah, we had gone back and forth several times, and it was just one of those things that he wanted to be involved. If there was nobody to be, if there wasn't anybody that was appointed, that he would still stay as long as he could be able to commit. But then he emailed back saying that he wasn't going to be able to commit because he had other things going on, a conflict, and so. But he said that he still wanted to be involved, and he is somebody that is
Well,
critical.
because he's there and he sees a lot of the people who,
Yeah.
they're at the DA's office. See if we can
So
pull
hopefully
that
that,
in.
yeah, hopefully that survey will get out
Right.
there.
Half of 11 is
5.5, so
6.
6.
Okay. So, we actually do have a quorum, but what do we have to vote on? The meeting time and day, we were gonna discuss and do a survey. The attendance and participation was discussed. Texas Open Meeting Act have been discussed that we'll send out. Do you have a list of who's actually completed or that you have on file?
No.
Or did we say that we were gonna get everybody's just all at once?
Right, that, the idea was for everybody to either tell me that you have completed it, or just to send me your certificate, and unfortunately, you're the only one I have.
I need the email, now that my email is working from the city, if you can send me the link. I mean, I'll do that when I get home.
Can you resend it to me?
Yeah, totally.
I'll
I
get
have
it
it, but I just forgot to send it to you.
Okay. So the only thing I guess that we need to go back to and vote is the approval of minutes for July 7th. So Tiffany did something really, really cool.
Yes.
And she created a folder for us. So on the folder, we have the minutes. So if there are any corrections or anything that is needed, please let me know. If not, I'll take a motion, a first and a second.
Can you remove me from being absent? Very big.
We can go ahead and do that, but from now on, Ms. Alonso. We'll do it because you're stating that you are receiving emails and that we'll hopefully
Now I'm
be able to.
receiving emails, right.
And actually, we'll also remove Paul
Paul.
because Paul is not technically appointed. So we'll remove Paul and Elizabeth and Ms. Arguendegui. Okay.
Then with the corrections, I make a motion to approve.
Okay, I have a motion by Ms. Alonso Villarreal. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
I'll have a second by Mr. Montemayor for the approval of the minutes. Anything else is just information.
Motion to adjourn.
Nancy, and a second by
I second.
Brianna. Okay, all in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes. Our meeting is adjourned at 6:25.
I already sent the Texas Open Meetings Act link to everybody.